if you want an incorrect summary of things, you could just ask me to talk about things I have no clue about, like Ace Combat 7. Guys, it's Paul, and today we are checking out max0r's incorrect summary of Ace Combat 7. This is probably one of my most requested videos, so buckle up. Let's get into it.
Ace Combat 7 is a game which takes place in the Strangereal universe, a deeply imagined world in which 90% of the planet is populated by white people. And, like most white people with disposable income, the denizens of Strangereal spend their time creating various gigantic superweapons and arming mutes. In this inspired story, the kingdom...
What? Riding on a penny farthing. Okay. Right away, I have no idea if this is remotely true, but okay, the devs probably made all the enemies random white dudes. One, because if you're looking for like a neo-Cold War vibe, it's the United States versus Russia, or the USSR, or whatever. So, makes sense that you would want to do that, though don't get me started on the demographics of the United States. I got some heartbreaking news for you. But we're definitely not getting into that in this channel, right? I've avoided trolls, political trolls up until now, and I will continue to do so. Plus, you don't. But anyway, the point is that there's a pretty like bad, potentially bad or offensive connotations of being like the game is you bombing different brown people's countries. And you're like, cool. So unlike Ace Combat 7, where you can win, I assume, in the real world, the United States has a bad track record against, the Vietnamese, the Afghans, even kind of the Iraqis.
The kingdom of Erusia conducts a surprise attack on the Federation of Osea on the continent of Eusia against the I can't do these names, dude. Are you serious? So there's like the space elevator. They want the space Erusia wants the space elevator.
The space elevator?
Just want it. And you are one of the few blessed psychopaths chosen to turn the tide of this war. So whether you're new to Ace Combat or a grizzled veteran, grab a seat and please enjoy.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. A space elevator, for those of you that don't know, a space elevator is a theoretical technology that would exist to reduce the cost of getting things into orbit. All right, one of the hardest problems of, spaceflight is getting things into Earth orbit. It takes a huge amount of fuel to launch a relatively tiny payload into orbit. It's one of the most expensive things you can do with your stuff. You can just look at a, space shuttle launch back when the U.S. had a space shuttle, and you would see this tiny vehicle was strapped to this monstrous rocket. And the reason is because it takes all that fuel to get it just into orbit. A space elevator solves that problem because the idea is that you connect basically at first a thread, but eventually flexible conveyor belt to an object orbiting the Earth, right? And what you do is you just have an engine at the bottom that just cranks the stuff right up, literally like an elevator. And because it doesn't have to go fast, it doesn't have to reach escape velocity, it means that it can be done far, far, far more efficiently, right? Sort of like how driving your car, right? If you wanted to get your car to get to the grocery store 5 miles away, but you had to do it at 200 miles an hour, you would burn so much fuel, right? Fighting air resistance and dealing with engine inefficiencies. Whereas if you do it at 35 miles an hour, you're just going to burn way less energy. And that's the same idea of the space elevator. So whoever controls it would have access to basically a decisive advantage in space. The question then asks you, if space dominance is the goal, why fighter jets? If you can cheaply militarize space and your very existence is threatened by an adversary, why would you not just put all your weapons in space and just space bomb, right? We talked about this in other videos. Just use the rod from God to just drop tungsten rods right onto your enemy, or use it as a mutually assured destruction tactic, or try to have some sort of like the hypersonic missiles that operate at sort of near between a suborbital, right? Have those weapons sort of gliding around, and then when you're ready, you just have them strike right at enemy military formations. You don't really need to have fighter jets.
An incorrect summary of Ace Combat 7. All right, men, as the first step in your briefing, I'm going to have to ask you to ignore all those subtitles at the bottom. I don't know what's causing.
And instrumental to helping maintain peace in USAA as members of the International Union Peacekeeping Force. Okay, guys.
Them whole continent's fucked and we're fucked and everything's getting bombed, and I think it has something to do with that giant elevator that we built or something. So technically when I say everything, I also mean ourselves, because we are being bombed right now. You should go into the air right now before you die.
You gotta keep an eye out for enemy bombers.
So you keep an eye out for all of the enemy bombers until they die while meeting your incredibly quirky squad mates. This is Clown. He's interesting. Alright guys, so it turns out it actually was the gigantic elevator. We're very sorry about that one. For some reason, the Erusian military was able to take over a continent-sized object in about 1 day, but that's fine. We'll deal with that. I want you guys...
Okay, so here's the other thing that's worth pointing out. You ask, how can an entire continent or an entire country be taken over really quickly? And in some cases, it's because that country is very small, like Kuwait. But there are other instances in which fairly large countries are able to be conquered fairly quickly. And the reason for that is often because of how population is concentrated, right? Very often you have large countries, but the populations are concentrated in maybe 2 or 3 cities, right? So if you can seize those cities, you can seize all of the key infrastructure that make that country, well, a country. If you can do that, then you have conquered all the surrounding territories. A good example of this might be somewhere like Algeria, right? Where basically there are a handful of cities that the French fought the Algerian nationalist rebels for control over in the 60s. And basically it was the Battle of Algiers, right? The fact that there was also conflict in sort of the hinterland was of secondary importance. If you controlled Algiers, you controlled the economic, governmental, administrative, and population of Algiers or Algeria. So the need to engage in the counterinsurgency or battle in the other cities or towns, villages, was of minimal importance.
Guys,
doesn't mean it wasn't, but it would be effective to say that the territories were conquered and that there was resistance within them.
it's like bombs in place, so just go do it, okay?
Any aircraft shot down could land in civilian territory.
That's how war is these days.
You go to town murdering innocent unarmed transportation aircraft when you suddenly hear a strange beeping noise on the horizon and find out that Obama is an Erusian and that he's sending his drone army to strike your Kunduz hospital. And you have
Whoa, yikes. That was a little true.
to kill them before they reach an innocent Iraqi child. But you are able to get to the Iraqi child first, invalidating their mission and forcing them to leave. Okay, so as it turns out, bombing random third world countries isn't actually an effective military tactic, and we need to get to the space elevator in order to rescue President Donald Trump, who is being held captive there. In order to mount a
Wow. Well, I mean, I guess this kind of makes sense, right? So this is let's say it's a common tactic. This is sometimes used in order to secure or ensure that certain valuable sites are not destroyed. If you have something that your enemy really wants, you can locate things that are critical to you at those sites. A good example might be an oil well or a dam, right? And if you can seize these wells or dams, you can put your own really valuable stuff there, because you will be assured that it will not be destroyed. This an example might be like Hezbollah locating its like rocket sites near things like hospitals and schools. They know that the Israelis really don't want to destroy hospitals and schools because it will look bad and also is bad. But, so therefore, Hezbollah says, okay, if you know we won't shoot at rockets and won't shoot at schools and hospitals, then we are going to locate our valuable military forces, our most valuable military forces, adjacent to those.
Rescue, we need you guys to get air superiority around this Amazon warehouse. It'll be easy, trust me.
Trigger time to show the other guys that we get wet wild and do dirty, dirty things.
Fuck off, clown. When you get there, you spend 5 minutes going pig wild in your bumblebee-ass ride before you get a bad taste in your stomach because the briefing man was foreshadowing. Hey guys, it's Jeff Bezos again from the inside of my gigantic arsenal bird, and I heard somebody ordered a package from me and I wasn't able to get it to you on time, but don't worry, because I am here with the package. It is death. You will now die. Cease to be. High Command then decides that the most intelligent course of action is to engage the Amazon drone hub and
Okay, I just gotta say, I am just waiting for a billionaire to take a balloon, multiple balloons like this, and just be like, I'm gonna live aboard the balloon with my staff. I will have no country. I will command my great corporation from the heights of the balloon, and that they will just sail around, right? And I think that'd be a really cool way to live, actually, to just be like, oh, we're going to sail all the way over the Arctic and down into the north, like to see the tundra change, right? To go from the desert all the way up and over. And then to, you know, sail over the Gobi Desert, right? Sail over the, Amazon rainforest, right? It would be so cool just to do that and have that be your ever-changing view every day. Plus, you get to be like mysterious, but people will still come out and look at you and be like, "Wow, it's the mega blimp." You know, you'd feel like a true Chad. And instead, Jeff Bezos wants to launch his rocket ship into space for like a minute. Like, what a waste of time.
combat, but actually they failed to account for the gigantic force fields. And also the 30 missiles. What the fuck? There's so many goddamn missiles. And just when things couldn't go more wrong, he arrives. In the midst of your retreat, you were not able to prevent the actions of Woman Slayer 69. Also, you figure out via cutscene that Woman Slayer 69 is actually the world's oldest incel and is therefore a wizard. All of the drones are based off of his flight data exclusively so that they don't have sex. Alright guys, it's finally time to go in and save the president.
Okay, I love how he's a former president. You mean random citizen. No value there.
President, he hasn't golfed in at least 3 seconds, and that's terrible. I'm gonna go send the mute guy to fly in under the radar or something. I don't know, he can't object to this. So you gotta fly through this annoying-ass series of bubbles inside the radar. I am absolutely having fun right now. I'm having fun. You get to the base of the space elevator and then defend Air Force 6 as he starts to land. You do this for about 20...
Why is there a space elevator, but everything else is just modern technology? This is so confusing. I don't think a space elevator is possible with our current material science. And here's what I mean. Right, is that remember, a space elevator would constantly be being pulled on by a tremendous amount of force, sort of like if you were a hammer thrower, right? If you were to hold one end of the ball and chain and you were to spin around real fast, that ball would get tense, which is what the space elevator is doing, but you also have to hold on to it tight. So how would you would need a material that functions as that chain, right? Again, ball and chain, you're swinging it around, but the chain needs to be attached to two objects that are, hundreds and hundreds and millions of tons, right? The Earth and whatever's on the other side. And it would require, obviously, to have that weight constantly be shifting, pulling, and changing as things traversed up the elevator. And to have something that's that strong but can still flex and can weather changing conditions. It will literally be potentially like summer at the base, 100 degrees Fahrenheit to virtually 0 degrees as it transitions into space, would be really, really, really challenging. So we just don't have the materials to make something like a space elevator.
20 minutes, I'm serious, help me, this won't stop. Amazon Warehouses starts going clown mode. Liaison helicopter has taken serious damage. You have to save him, there's a UAV right there, stop them.
Make two.
Spare squadron. Yeesh.
Alright, so maybe I shouldn't have sent a potentially psychopathic mute to rescue the president, but don't worry guys, I take no responsibility for it whatsoever. His punishment for killing the president is that we will send him to a place that is far away where he will never touch an airplane ever again. So they take you to a fucking airfield that's being run by convicts, and the warden's just like, no, let's just go send these prisoners up in the air, it'll be funny, don't give them weapons though. So you report to the nice lady whose job it is to repair all the aircraft in the base, but she's probably very surprised when she has to find parts for an experimental XO2 Strike Wyvern equipped with high-tech railguns. Who the fuck is
Wow, okay. Can point this out. If you go into a prison and you're law enforcement, even if you're a cop, even if you're a military cop, I've been there, you are required actually, to turn in all of your weapons. All of them. There are no weapons in a prison. There are none. There are non-lethal options, and the reason, but that's about it. The reason is because if you have weapons, the prisoners can get them, right? So you can always call in external forces, like you can call the police. The prisoners obviously cannot call in their own armed backup, but you want to make sure that the guards can at least fight the prisoners on something resembling an even playing field if there were to be a riot or some sort of situation where you need to control people. So that's why there are never weapons allowed in everything from your local jail to maximum security prisons. No weapons. Don't have them. So the fact that they would put a railgun on a fighter jet in a prison is, well, nonsense.
this new guy? You fly around the base for a bit without weapons, and it actually is pretty funny until several dozen people die tragically in a bombing. With new aircraft and a new base comes new friends such as Belkin, Gambler, just a fucking asshole, Champ, I don't know what Champ does, and the Nickelback vocalist.
No, don't copyright claim me. I'm gonna mute this. I'm gonna mute this for just a minute. Okay, let's see. Alright, we're done.
Because giving convicts weaponry and the ability to escape is just fine, the base commander turns on your gigantic railgun. You successfully repel the attackers from your base. We begin to astral project in order to look at Woman Slayer 69 and his friends, Jeff Bezos and children, only to witness actual pedophilia.
From time to time, I catch myself looking at them. They were such enthralling creatures.
At which point, we are able to figure out Woman Slayer 69's true name.
His real name is Mihai Dumitru Margarita Corneliu Leopold Blaka Raphael
Mihai's
Nice.
granddaughters finally go outside in order to see the Princess of Aruja and her amazing dog. They have a cordial conversation.
Oh my god. Okay, alright. I hate when like modern countries are like the princess who functionally rules the country. I guess you could have a princess who like actually has like real governing roles. They exist in BattleTech, but the point of BattleTech is the technology sort of stagnates, and it's not impossible, right? There's obviously technological development that happens under like totalitarian dictatorships, which, by the way, if you have a queen or king who actually rules your country, that's what you have. But it gets a lot harder, right? They're just petty. They don't respect the rule of law. And one of the things that drives investment in any country is that the investors need to be sure that their property will be respected. If I'm going to build a hotel in India, right, I need to know that the Indian government isn't just going to make me build it, I fork over all this cash, and then they seize it and go, this is now a property of India, right? And so we know that won't happen. Investors know that won't happen because India has an independent court system. They have an independent judiciary. They have a set of laws that even the president is subject to, presumably. So you need a certain level, doesn't have to be the world's greatest democratic system, but it has to be one in which the rule of law is superior to any one person. So that even if you were to say, piss off the president, you still need to be certain that the right of private property will be respected. Even places like China have a robust and fairly independent court system that allows property owners, right, company owners, to get at least a sort of fair shake. Though China has a lot of restrictions on it, and it's one of the things that has it kept a lot of U.S. investment out of the country.
in which they are able to exchange politeness and discuss matters.
Alright, since you guys don't want to fly away from me for some reason, probably because you want to kill as many people as possible, we're just going to send you on a mission to destroy as many human lives as we can. I'm honestly afraid of you. Please leave this place at once.
So you're sent into the deserts of Roca Roja to destroy 3 different military bases for 20 minutes, and if you fail once, you restart the entire fucking level. Somebody should have told High Roller that before he died.
Shit! Someone get this enemy off my tail! God damn it, I'm hit! I've got a bet on me getting out of this.
While playing this level, you are constantly threatened by the warden to continue playing or die.
Engage or face punishment. You'll pay for this.
I love how the warden is like threatening you from an AWACS.
You'll pay for this.
Hey.
Like an AWACS is an actual U.S. military aircraft, or it's a role of an aircraft. But it seems sort of strange that, again, this is like a weird mishmash of like fiction and reality and sci-fi and, you know, regular sci.
Hey guys, glad to see you back at base again, not dead like I intended you to be at the very beginning of the last suicide mission, but anyways, this time I will be sending you to the totally plausible air mission of flying through rural Chinese valleys in the middle of a thunderstorm to assist friendly recon aircraft. I hope that you guys make it through this mission very safely so that you don't harm my family or anyone close to me.
So you journey all the way to the scenic Yinshi Valley. Oh my fucking god. You move in to assist friendlies who are being shot. Oh fucking god damn it. But seriously, the mission is mostly about escorting friendly aircraft. Why do I hear Latin music in the background? Yeah, that's right. This is actually a boss fight. Whoa, where the hell are you going, dude? Everyone is very impressed by the air show that you two put on, seemingly because neither of your bloodstreams are actually affected by gravity.
Yeah, what he's talking about is the G-forces, right? When you maneuver hard in an aircraft, the swings in momentum, right? The aircraft is going this way. If you were to turn, the momentum is going to continue to push your body into the direction you were heading before. And those things are measured as like multiples of standard Earth gravity. So they're referred to as G-forces. So pulling 9 Gs, for example, is the equivalent to being subjected to 9 times Earth's gravitational force. And when the numbers start to climb that high, you run into all sorts of problems. Chief among them, that your blood has a hard time, you know, getting where it's supposed to be, right? 9 times gravity is pushing it down towards your feet, which is a problem because you need to, you know, your brain needs blood to, you know, think. So there's a whole bunch of ways pilots try to solve this, right? There's technological solutions where they actually have suits that will squeeze your legs like a bottle of ketchup, right? You just squeeze the bottom and the blood goes up towards your head. There's techniques you can use about your breathing and clenching your muscles to force blood towards your head. But it's really easy to actually pass out from the G-forces as your blood pressure drops and your brain goes into shutdown mode.
Eventually, you are able to hit Mihai enough to the point where he's like, wait a fucking second, there's thunderclouds here, what the fuck am I doing? And then he retreats, no matter how quickly you shoot him with your gun.
I'm glad that my plan to kill some of you is partially successful. We got a filler mission for you guys where we finally figured out a way to utilize your plane-based incel rage.
So you're sent in to destroy an oil facility and all of the workers inside. I bet they had families, but that honestly makes it better. A sudden sand cloud appears, and what remains of the survivors board fuel trucks to try and get even the slightest bit of money to feed their charred sons and daughters. You simply mercilessly gun them down in the middle of a storm because I don't know why. Why would you do that?
I have decided that I like you all and that your lives are definitely worth preserving. We need you guys to destroy radar bases at the Waiapolo Mountains, but to do that, you need to stay underneath cloud cover for at least 90% of the mission or you'll die, but I believe in you.
You make your way through the claustrophobic valleys, only peeking above the clouds to quickly take out radar bases before a satellite launches a guided missile at you. I'm serious, hell. Once you're finished with that, a mysterious squadron of friendlies appear on the horizon, who all seem to support breast cancer research and behave strangely. They especially seem to behave strangely as soon as they start firing at you.
Guys, I absolutely fucking swear that this time is not me trying to kill you, although it would be convenient for some somebody who was definitely not me if you were to die to them. It looks like they somehow spoofed our identification system by hacking about half of the entire satellite array that we possess. Also, Jeff Bezos is sending nuclear missiles to whack your ass. Please move.
So you recalibrate your identification system and then kill all of them while being fucking nuked, and that's fine, I'm fine, until it's time to
I love how that was actual lore.
kill the very last enemy in the whole area.
Count. 1 to go. Go get him. 1 to go. Where is it? Rhino, this is it. All right, I got the last one. Damn it. God damn it. Why is this? Then got tagged as an enemy.
Alright, so High Command is actually going to be disbanding our unit because I killed the base commander 9 days ago and I've been pretending to command the military ever since. Who left the confetti on? Count and that weird mute guy get to be pardoned and enter the actual military because they were so effective at killing everybody that I told them to, provided, of course, that you succeed in your next mission. The rest of us are evacuating to Tyler 1 Island.
The entire mission is
Okay, weird. That a weird plot twist. I feel like by the time you're in the 7th game of the series, you just gotta stretch for it, man. You just gotta make up more like random events to convince anyone that this is a good idea.
simply escorting one colonel to a different base inside of his plane, and I'm serious, all you do is just protect him. But for some reason, if you shoot him and fail the mission, you get points. This proceeds for about 15 minutes until you receive an unusual signal on your radar.
It closed in fast. Unknown considered hostile.
So you fight X-A12, who, like you, has no blood, and seeks revenge upon the land of Osea for okay, he's dead.
Hey, congrats on your pardons, guys, and welcome to the Long Range Strategic Strike Group. Try to say that 10 times fast. Our next mission is to strike a group at long range strategically as the Long Range Strategic Strike. We'll be able to turn the tide of the war if only we could just disable their fleet, so go do that, please.
As surprising as it is having a former convict in the squad, it's even more surprising that he showed up in an experimental Erusian Exo-2 Strike Wyvern equipped with high-tech railguns. Who the fuck is this new guy? With a new squad and new challenges comes new teammates, such as woman, male human. Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh.
It really is a striking resemblance.
And like everyone else, I don't know, they just don't talk. In addition to killing the fleet using your gigantic lower portions, you target the non-combatant bases that maintain them, filled with people who have children and dogs who will never see their owners come back. All the while, your squad is role-playing as chickens. What the fuck?
Stop treating me like a newborn chick. Sharp, little chick.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna get...
Okay, I wonder how true the like wing people talking shit over the radio is. I can tell you that the level of smack talking over the radio was pretty minimal, and like when I did it, I would get yelled at, but mostly it wouldn't be that bad, because for me to like tell you to go fuck yourself on the radio over comms, usually it meant that you had done something stupid, right? Like somebody told me that when I was like, hey, my GPS is down, I need like you to give me I need you to give me more than just coordinates, right? I need more than a grid coordinate. Give me like which MSR is it off of, or give me a local, landmark that I can use to figure this out. They tried to start giving me tech support. Like, have you tried the equivalent of like, have you turned it on and off again? And I'm like, what the, like all our GPSs are down. We have 5 of them. Of course we tried to turn them on, you idiot. Like, don't lecture me on tech support. Like, tell me the direction and distance I need to go and the landmark I should see.
Give it to you really straight, we're losing the war. We're actually getting annihilated on every single possible front, and it's all thanks to Jeff Bezos and his 2 gigantic Amazon drone hubs. Therefore, we have devised a plan where we're going to reboot a gigantic cannon in the middle of Erusian territory and then fire it at him. What once killed asteroids now kills assholes. I really don't know if it'll work, but like 90% of the problems that we have in this world are solved by giant super weapons, so let's do it.
So you select an A-10, knowing full well that you'll only be fighting ground forces this mission. And ground forces you fight, like a lot. Like, stop. How did we sneak an entire army into their territory? After fighting for several generations, you look to the sky and hear the sound of money rubbing together. Alright, bitch, I heard that someone here was taking a fucking unauthorized bathroom break in my Giga warehouse, and I've had it up to here with that shit. You think you'll be able to piss on me with your cannon, but it won't work? Yeah, don't bring an A-10 ends of this mission. Jesus Christ, they're all faster than me and they've already destroyed all the cannon's sensors. If only there was some way to aim a cannon with your eyes. So High Command orders you to take out the propellers to slow the drone hub down enough to hit it manually. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is happening over here? Oh my god! How is Wise Man supposed to take like 10 missiles at once and not die? This is completely fucking insane. I can't tell what the fuck is going on, but I probably got the propeller.
Yo guys, I can't tell what the fuck's going on, but I think you got the propeller. Shoot the gun.
Yeah, we have force fields. Like, okay, if you can generate force fields, then you should give a lot more things force fields. Like, if you can mount a force field to an aircraft, you can definitely put a force field on all of the facilities that you have been bombing this entire time, right? And if you can do that, then why have aircraft engaging as your primary fighting forces in this war?
Alright, I see how it is, motherfucker. You want to pee-pee poo-poo in your stinky-ass diaper, but I got money to spare, bitch. I got $12,000 in parking tickets. I'll be back around my second drone hub, and next time you won't have your shitty-ass piss yellow cannon bullshit to launch at me again.
Alright, so we've seized like half the continent. It's kind of weird how their entire military strategy relies on 2 airplanes. For this mission, you will be inserting a deep penetration munition bomb into the enemy. Make sure that your plane looks like a zebra, it'll be funny.
This mission is very simple. All the player has to do is look at the bunker and slide the missile right in. Also, the music's like fucking sick, dude. It's so good. You take out all of the silos, but apparently that doesn't matter because they just launch actual ICBMs anyways. There is absolutely no piece of technology more equipped to intercept nuclear weapons than a fighter jet, so you do that and everyone's happy that you did it and it's great.
Okay, like we talked about, guys, in order to get into space, right? So, I mean, an ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile, one, is not the missile they should be using. I don't know why they're calling it an ICBM, because you and its target are on the same continent. It is not intercontinental, right? It is just what's known as a IRBM, intermediate range ballistic missile. So that may be an explanation as to why he can interdict it. But the problem is because missiles don't have people and they don't even really need to maneuver like at all. They can literally be just like bullets. And that's actually how fast they can go, right? They will, I believe, break the sound barrier, right? And they need to just push and push and push and push to reach escape velocity and push into the atmosphere. Is that true of IRBMs? I don't actually know if that's true of IRBMs. So maybe it's like remotely possible, but probably not. Missiles are not slower than aircraft. They are much, much faster, even IRBMs.
Hey Google, how can I kill 1 million people?
1 million people.
What the fuck is going on with the music? Alright, so the enemy has this gigantic fucking submarine, and I'm talking like railguns and 2 nuclear reactors, and it can launch fucking planes. Why would you make a submarine that big? This submarine, previously known as the Alicorn, remained at the bottom of the sea for 698 days, and instead of sending the crew to get psychological help, they just put them back on the submarine, so recipe for success. We are receiving unconfirmed, unsubstantiated, and possibly falsified reports that the crew has come into possession of WMDs, so you need to invade them, like right now.
So you set off in like 4 of your planes to fight 20 of theirs. That makes sense. That's fine. I'm fine. You mercilessly slaughter as many people as you possibly can, knowing that you're the good guy and everything you do is to save lives. Eventually, allies arrive with boosters to make your missiles fly faster. Do they just like add propellant? I don't know how they do that. Then you hear something in the distance which kind of sounds like angry children talking on an encrypted radio channel.
Idiot, ignore their illusions.
Don't call me an idiot. I'd kill you if you were my brother.
Also, this is completely by accident, but I was able to instantly kill the boss within a few seconds.
Shit, scream, we're pulling out.
Drax, I will have you. You will die.
Better not fucking...
I love how it may be a law, actually, in any anime or anime-like video game, that you have to fight at least one pair of evil twins. They're usually twins.
And cut yourself
And siblings sometimes. I think this is a sibling case.
on that edge there. Eventually, the captain of the submarine is just like, wait a minute, what if we turn on the submarine? That would be insane. Also, guys, I want you to launch the nuke. So while the nuke is in the oven, they just kill everyone. I don't know why they didn't prepare for that possibility. What the fuck do you mean you can't deploy a nuke unless it's on the back of a plane? That makes no sense. So you spend like a solid minute chasing him down.
He walked all over it with his dirty boots, over the crisp white sheets of my bed that I had just made.
Yo guys, do you know what's up with like that raving homeless guy that keeps talking on the channel? Ahoy me mateys, it be me, Captain Torres, and I'm here to tell you that you can prevent like 99% of all wars by nuking the capital of Osea. I learned about ye knowledge while stuck under the sea for 698 days while only being able to watch virtual YouTuber content, and now I'm insane.
Ooh, that will melt anyone's brain. Those VTubers are weird. VTuber fans, also extremely weird.
As any old scurvy dog on this ship. It's my mental illness, so I get to choose the coping mechanism.
Alright, so we're pretty sure that the raving homeless guy has to park at Anchorhead Bay in order to resupply his giant submarine.
Sorry, so he's just gone rogue? This is not clear.
Just nuke the entire fucking port. I don't know, it's a filler mission.
I think I've already talked at length about missions where you just kill things for 15 minutes straight and then nothing else happens, so we're gonna move on to things that are exciting. Yo ho ho, on the sea we go, send this bomb and away they blow. For salvation we fight and the truth we know. I will kill again and again for this virtual hoe. Yeah, so a big part of this mission is actually dodging all the cluster munitions that Patchy the pirate sends at you. Hang on guys, I think I hear a different kind of mental illness on the horizon.
Now we have less goons to deal with. Do it, Scream.
You do battle with them, and I will admit, it's actually pretty amazing. I'm having fun. They, however, they're not having fun. Yo ho, I see you having a dramatic moment here, but I'm about to bomb you to Davy Jones.
I can't do anything. Out on my own.
Okay, this is weird. This is pretty weird anime stuff right here.
So you oblige her just this once, only to figure out that Captain Torres actually ended up resupplying while you were distracted by them. And get this, he did it in 5 minutes, canonically.
Alright guys, is anyone able to guess what kind of weapon?
Okay, can you actually do a full resupply in 5 minutes? I think, how many people are in the crew? You could do it. You could do it, I think. Maybe not fully complete it. But what you could do is you'd have to use pre-positioning. You'd have to basically not make it a proper resupply, right? You would want to get in, pick up whatever you needed, and get out. And to do that, you would have to have someone who's pre-positioned basically all the supplies you need, and somehow allows you to latch onto them or dump them into your hold. No processing, no thinking, and you probably would just have to take whatever they give you. This is sometimes what's called pre-positioning. I've also talked about this in ground forces. We sometimes call them speedballs, and these would be pre-staged pallets of the things you would probably need in a gunfight. So spare ammunition for all the weapon systems you had, spare fuel, spare medical supplies, water, maybe a little bit of food, right? You just take it all, you shrink wrap it, you palletize it, and you hook it up and you set it up so that a helicopter just needs to come in. You already have the clamps, you clamp it onto the bird, it takes it off, and it drops it. Sometimes they can even do it via parachute, just fly it over and let it parachute down onto your location. You then secure it, and you have all of the things, some more of everything you need. Now, the trade-off is you don't get it in the exact quantities, right? If you used more Mark 19 ammo, you may not get all the Mark 19 ammo you need. You might get a bunch of ammo that you didn't need, right? Maybe you don't need that much 5.56, but you just got a ton of it anyway. But it allows you to stay in the fight a lot longer, right? And it allows you to resupply in basically as fast as you can break down the pallet and distribute the stuff. So it's possible. 5 minutes is pretty ambitious, but again, with the right crew and team, you could pull it off.
Torres loaded onto a submarine.
So you'd probably, I imagine, have to go somewhere else, a safe third location, to actually unpack it and distribute it and verify, put the fuel in fuel storage, etc.
Not who am I kidding, of course. It's a nuke. It's always a nuke. He's gone completely rogue from the Erusian military, and they are no longer responsible for his actions. Based off of his insane homeless ranting, we were able to figure out that his intentions are to nuke the city of Ored and kill 1 million people in an attempt to end the Lighthouse War. Please don't let him do that. The war is really profitable.
So you set out to protect the planes that are dropping buoys to locate the submarine, and how many fucking planes can fit inside of a submarine? You eventually find the damn thing, and everyone shoots at it to make it surface. Then you shoot at the submarine, because, what else would you not shoot at it? Also, as funny as my pirate voice is, the real voice actor for Torres is even better than that.
I will not allow our civilians to be desecrated.
Then he fires his main guns at you, an aircraft. Everyone's acting gangster until the water starts speaking Latin. You go in for one last attack on the Ballistic. Then he deploys force fields. Like, how did he get that? But just before you were able to destroy the ship fully, Torres sends a message. Yar har har, and here we are. We surrender. Please don't fucking kill us. Okay, but you'll have to like hand over all your anime and the nuke. The what? The fucking nuke, Torres. What else would I be talking about? No. The other thing. The anime? Torres, you have to hand that shit over. It's like a hazard.
We live in a society. If I can't watch Marine Channel on YouTube.com, then no one else will. Fuck, I missed. Kill that mute son of a bitch right now. Make your screen shake a lot. I will flood the back of this submarine to give the gun the elevation it needs. 1 million lives. You should have just let me keep my anime, you fucking skunk.
This is how real anime fans feel. This is what anime fans actually believe.
Okay then, we are planning on conducting a long-range assault on the Erusian capital of Farbanti. In order to do that, we first have to capture an airbase at Cape Rainy.
Sorry, do they all speak Latin? Is that why they all have these names?
We need your planes to raid their defenses undetected, so your only option is to travel through a narrow canyon. Good luck.
So you fly in through the valley and past all the spotlights. Do they not, like, hear anything?
Hey bro, you see any jets? What?
Then you commence your attack, and for once things actually go pretty smoothly. You protect Ocean Marines as they enter the base and capture it swiftly, bringing pizza. Wait, what? Pizza?
All prisoners of war will be treated in accordance with international law. We've even brought pizza.
Alright.
Hooray! Okay, that sounds really silly, and it sort of is, but here is actually one of the real-world example of this, is in the U.S., right, or in World War II. The U.S. Famously treated German prisoners extremely well, right, and they were able to do this for a couple of reasons. The first is that the German prisoner of war camps were in the continental United States, where there was really no chance that they were ever going to escape and rejoin German forces. They were literally on the other side of the world. Also, there was a large German population in the United States that might have actually had a problem with German prisoners of war being treated to inhumane conditions. But the most important reason the US did it is because they wanted to very publicly, very obviously, and very clearly demonstrate to not just the U.S. public and the global community, but to the Germans specifically, that their prisoners of war were being treated not above and beyond how the Geneva Convention required. And the hope was that captured U.S. forces would be treated similarly. Now, they were not, but I think the worst fear that the U.S. had was that those U.S. forces would be treated as the Japanese treated their prisoners, namely like worked to death, or they would be treated how the Germans treated the other ethnic minorities and religious minorities in their country. That is to say, horribly. And did that work? It's not clear. But what is clear is that the German prisoners of war in the United States stayed in basically Boy Scout camps. They had played ping pong. They got the exact same food and rations as U.S. troops, cafeteria. Of course, they were under armed guard and were not permitted to escape. But the idea of going above and beyond in your treatment of prisoners as a way to signal to your opposition that, hey, we are respecting the law of war. We are going above and beyond to treat your prisoners well. You should treat our prisoners well, too. And as they discussed, they spent a long time losing big parts of this war, so there's probably a lot of prisoners of war held by the enemy.
Alright guys, that was surprisingly easy. It's time to take the capital of Farbanti. This is in conjunction with an assault on their satellite array that will not backfire. We're going to be taking the city like we take any other civilian settlement that we come across. Violently.
Farbanti is a downright amazing level, but unfortunately that means I don't get that much to talk about. It's just like a big fun sandbox where you kill everything and it's like 20 minutes long. What more can I say? Just look how beautiful the level it— wait, no, I hear Latin again. What is that? Yeah, I bet you bitches forgot about me and my epic theme music, but I'm back and I'm rebranded. I'm a new man. I'm no longer Woman Slayer 69 as I've had sex just as she goes to a different school than I do. I am now simply racist instead of sexist. You fight the guys who arrived late to the most important battle of the war for no reason, so your Commander Wiseman decides to bait me high into a chase.
How is an incel supposed to have grandkids anyways?
Okay, first of all, I'm no longer an incel as I have previously stated my sex woman goes to a different school, and second of all—
I love that. That's my favorite favorite high school trope. I totally have a girlfriend. You can't see her because of this convenient plot device. She goes to a different school.
My son was adopted after I killed his parents for having sex, but that's behind me now. I'm a new man worthy of respect. Alright, so wise men may be a bit fucking dead, but it's fine. It's not like the sky is falling or anything. Oh, fuck me.
I can't even access racistforums.com. This sucks. I'm gonna leave. See ya.
Alright, so the game decided that it was going to escalate things even further than it already has. The entire world's satellite array has been destroyed by an exponential cycle of debris caused by you shooting at their satellites like a fucking child. No one can tell what's going on, nothing makes sense, no communication gets through, no one listens to.
Guys, if there's one thing that we have seen from the past, really the past year or 2 years, is that the just-in-time world, the world where everything, every system hinges on having the bare minimum amount of people, the bare minimum amount of stuff, the cheapest budget, cost-cutting economy and logistics systems that we've established, place the world at pretty incredible danger. If you haven't noticed, right, the fact is that most hospitals were staffed with just barely enough staff at pre-2020, right? So, of course, they were comically ill-prepared for a post-2020 event, or the 2020 event. And we see it now, right? We see the price of food skyrocketing. Saw a whole chicken was $15. What happened? What? Right? Price of food skyrocketing. Things are just not available. As you can see, I wanted to have my house done, but nothing is available. Nothing. You know, Christmas was basically canceled. This is the sort of stuff that happens when you have this like thin, just-in-time sort of system. And again, satellites probably cheaper than having any other broadcast system, but you see what happens. They're delicate, they're vulnerable, they're easy to jam and destroy.
High command, and I guess we're just gonna keep shooting people. We're gonna do that.
Alright, men, our only option is to intervene in a bloody civil war that will inevitably lead to more harm than good. I have no orders to do this, by the way, it's just fun. A defecting colonel is attempting to give us the Coca-Cola recipe, so we need to have him survive.
This mission involves carefully escorting the colonel through a dark city, identifying every single target before you fire. Okay, well, I guess he's dead now. Awesome.
Now, unfortunately, mute guy, we actually don't have the resources to court-martial you again, so we're just gonna forget that ever happened. At this point, our only option to win the civil war is to take out Jeff Bezos' still active gigantic drone hub. But in order to do that, we have to not starve to death. A bunch of cool internet skeptics have separated from Aruja, and they call themselves the liberalists. I don't know, just take their fucking lunch money, they're nerds.
So you go for an easy and
Libertarians, yeah, they won't last long.
fun raid on their castle, attempting to secure the Coca-Cola inside. You start to notice that you get points for destroying tents full of refugees, but we're going to ignore that just like the developers. Oh god damn it, not again, it's the fucking Latin music. What the fuck are you guys doing in my house? I just want to be racist in peace. Can a man get some peace? I told you I'm not an incel anymore, so you don't gotta steal all the anime pillows I got in that castle. Oh, it's time to move the light speed for no reason. Whoa! You know, I don't actually like the drones. Oh fuck, a missile. I actually got 50% off all Amazon purchases in exchange for my help in creating the drones. It was sweet. It just kind of sucks how he wants to take over the world and all. Actually, I just realized I have.
Okay, so one of the things I want to point out is that experience counts for a lot, but if you're flying a manually controlled aircraft, instincts, your fast twitch muscles, your cognitive speed diminishes as you get older, right? Especially beyond 65, but even into your 50s, right? There's a reason that basically you see almost no high-level competitive athletes in almost any sport who are over 50. And that is for the same reason there aren't that many pilots who, well, in the real world, dogfighting like this is not like an essential piloting skill. It's decision-making, it's planning, it's thinking through, it's setting priorities, it's a little more than, you know, Ace Combat 7. But if the world was Ace Combat 7, you would basically have a mandatory retirement age of 40 because it is so hard to keep up this level of performance, right? Think about like needing the instincts of a boxer, the ability to respond lightning quick to punches, to dodge rounds and bullets. Yeah, it's just not suitable. Look at the fastest short distance sprinters in the world. They're all basically in their 20s, with the exception of Usain Bolt, who is able to sprint into the geriatric age of like 31.
I have to live in a world without internet, so can you kill me? Jeff Bezos and Jack Dorsey are going to restrict my racism on the internet. You have to kill them, please. Man, I sure do wonder what Mihai's doing these days. I bet he enjoys the gift cards, though. Building a robot army gets kind of boring sometimes, and I need to find a way to transmit my new schematics to the world without a satellite. Wait a minute. I'm inside of a space elevator right now.
We need
need help. Don't let him damage more. Show him.
You're a genius, Jeff. So anyways, I stole the old incel's fucking airplane. Both sides of the Civil War are now engaged in battle to seize the space elevator. But we are here to stop Amazon's takeover of the planet. So naturally, he sends his capitalistic McNukes at you. Kinda weird how many missiles I can fit onto this propeller-propelled aircraft, but that's just a free market of work, guys. Why the fuck you sending so many goddamn missiles at me? You've all forfeited your Prime subscriptions. Oh no, the little baby doesn't have his gigantic fucking piss cannon to kill me. He can't do it. Also, I've installed a laser that I failed to mention or make use of until just now. With no options left, you are forced to take on the Arsenal Bird head.
Nah, they always add upgrades to things. That's pretty typical.
And every time you do, he uses the force fields. Jesus, dude, stop it. Jeff Bezos eventually figures out that he can just keep the force field on forever. Like, why wouldn't he? But he forgot one crucial detail. Force fields are a subscription service. Fuck, when I said cancel everyone's subscriptions, I didn't mean my own. Stop doing that right now or I will be forced to lobby Congress.
I will never pay taxes as long as I live.
Okay, that's just pretty good.
Hey guys, can we talk this out a little bit? Maybe get a cup of tea while I get my subscription back on? Fine then, I guess you'll just have to fucking kill me and not have any more Amazon warehouses to give you books and Hulu and shit. Time to fucking starve, little boy. And with that, the last hope of Jeff Bezos' world takeover is destroyed. But vengeance is another matter entirely.
Oh my god, more Latinx.
Those guys are bad news. Trigger, boss, do something. Strider 2, missile inbound.
They are 100% going to destroy that space elevator, guys.
So you fight two new drones hugging and mugging in an intense battle for the fate of the human race. You struggle with them for minutes on end.
Okay, a Hugin. Oh man, I wish I knew. There's also a specialized like an elite level mech in MechWarrior Online that's also called the Hugin. It's a Raven. But I don't know what it means or where the name comes from.
Attempting to prevent them from uploading the schematics to the world, which would only ensure the defeat of mankind. Eventually, you gain the upper hand on both of them because you don't have any blood inside of you. You race into the tunnel to reach the space elevator and stop the upload, dodging...
Yeah, here's the thing. You gotta remember, if there's no human being pilot, you could, in theory, create aircraft that are vastly more maneuverable and vastly more able to sustain G-forces because, you know, while your blood does get pushed out of your brain, causing you to pass out, an electronic computer can be subjected to a lot more G-forces if properly designed. The result would be a much more nimble and effective combat aircraft. Of course, because of like latency issues, you would need the AI to have some level of decision-making capacity. And that's what modern drones have, right? And of course, they're now commercial technology, but the drone has some onboard flight computers. So when you tell it, hey, I want you to fly up or fly forward, the onboard flight computers know that it needs to tilt certain ways, move up or down, fly at certain velocities. All right, and you just give it the general commands.
Closing doors and moving at uncomfortably high speed, reaching the inner sanctum with less than 1 minute to spare. You launch one final missile and end the robot child once and for all. Gripping your controls, you take the perilous climb to the top of the space elevator to escape, plunging into the deep blue of the sky above. And once at the top, you feel relief. You look up to the sky above and you think that heaven might be up there, but you don't know for sure. You hope Torres is up there. He seems like a nice guy if he wasn't totally insane. You remember all the people that you've left behind on your journey. Champ, High Roller, yeah, never mind, actually, you don't remember any of them. You think for a moment that no matter what you'll
Love this cheesy endgame music.
Find on the ground, love, a house, a good job, it'll never be quite the same as this experience.
Wait, that's actually true. I don't know how to tell you that.
But there is one thing that is pretty close. Petting a cute dog and not being dead. You really want to pet the dog now.
All right, guys. Wow, that was a game. That was a video. You brought me to this video. Okay, that was weird. It was weird on so very many levels, friends. But thank you for recommending it. I got actually a huge charge out of it. That was almost an hour on a 24-minute video. Classic Paul. Remember, I'm going to start streaming a lot more on Twitch, so you better follow me on Twitch because you're going to see a lot more of this ugly mug. I'll see you guys next time.